Today I'm going to walk you through how to record a two-person podcast or interview. How to do it with just one camera, meaning in this case a smartphone, and a wireless recording device. So we're going to use the Rode Wireless Pro as the example here today because I like them the best. And so we're going to have a quick look at how we set this up within the smartphone itself. Then we're going to attach it to the stand and we're going to actually record a fake podcast episode so that you can hear again how it sounds with all of that in motion. So we're going to use the iPhone 14 Pro as the example phone in this case. This still has a lightning port, so it's a perfectly good smartphone to use. You could definitely use a younger or an older model. This is just the one that I happen to have here for this example. So first thing you're then going to do, have a look at what we have as the options here with the Rode Wireless Pro system. So we need to get this one out first, which is the receiver. So the receiver is what is used to connect the microphones to the actual phone. When you have the connection all installed and ready, these are two microphones. So these microphones will talk to this receiver, which then talks to the phone, and then everything works in harmony together and you get good quality audio out of it. So first thing we need to do then is we need to connect this receiver to the actual iPhone. I've got my case off already in preparation. It is smarter to have the case off just because things work a little bit better. The connections are smoother. So we've got the case off. Now, if we go over to this area here, the Rode comes with a few different connections, and I do have a separate video that does a actual walkthrough of the Rode and a full review of it. But we can see we attach one side into this bit, okay, and then we attach this bit into the bottom of the phone. Nothing too tricky about that. Then it's going to come up and ask, you know, that there's an accessory connected, and then you'll be good to go. Now you'll notice there's a clip at the back of this. Okay, this is a clip. Where are we going to put this? Because there's no like connection, there's no, you know, it's difficult to manage. One of the best things to do, especially with the 14, is it actually ships with some little magnets. So you can see there's a magnet here. Oh, they're so hard to get off. Okay, the magnet, and then the magnet will attach to the back of here, but it needs this little thing here in order to do it. So we need to connect this to the back of the Rode, slide that in, and then that will work. I haven't found it to slip off too much, which is good. So you can just have it connected like that to the back of this particular phone because it has a magnet at the back of the phone. It's fine if you're just holding it, but if we're connecting it to this, then that's going to be a problem because look, we need this to be here. So take that off, and then we connect this here by sliding this up here. While I'm here with this, you can see I've got a Manfrotto video tripod. Video meaning it's got these little extra points here that make this more maneuverable than just like a photo tripod stand. I find Manfrotto to be the best quality. Like some of these tripods, we just have them for so many years and they never break. They're really good. They are a bit more expensive, but I found them to be worth the extra money. We've got a little smartphone adapter at the top here, and then that clips into the video area of the tripod. One issue you want to kind of make yourself aware of here is if this is in the way of these little like volume and on and off things, then you're going to have problems when you're actually recording. So you just want to make sure that that's in the right location. Always record with your best cameras, and so you want to use this side to be forward facing to actually get your subjects, because otherwise the quality just isn't as good. Now we still have the issue of this here. What are we going to do with it? It's not going to connect to anything. With this particular smartphone clamp, you could just clip this via the little back thing here, which is just in like that normally. Pull it out, clamp, and then you've got that over this side, all the wires and everything. The only other problem with that is that it's really good to be able to see your connection, like your microphone's connecting on the screen, and if it's over here and then your camera's over here, it's not ideal. What you can also do is actually switch around that little clamp at the back here. You can turn it around, flip it up so that you can actually see a bit of the receiver information at the top. So that's one way to kind of get the best of this situation. And it's probably the simplest way to work it, to be honest. There's no other things that you need to connect it to. You don't need to buy anything else. You just need to make sure you get this particular clamp, which I will link in the description, so that you can have that little mount thing there nice and easily for you. So once that's connected, we're happy with that. Then we need to start getting our microphones out. Okay, they look exactly the same. They function exactly the same. When I pick these up, if you go over and you look at what the receiver is doing now, the receiver now has audio. Hello, 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 hello. See how the green bars are going up? Because now it can see that there are people, or there are voices. So number one is this one in my right hand. Number two is this one in my left hand. The reason why I want to establish 1 and 2 is because when I connect them to people, I want to know whether one of them needs to be turned up or down, or whether the volumes are okay. Now there are other settings within the actual receiver that I'll do a separate video on, how to make sure that they are set up correctly for podcast recording. So I'll put a link to that video here. But long story short, what you would need is to make sure that the receiver is recording in split, so that each microphone has its own track, so that when you go to export and do things with the actual audio, you have 2 tracks for 2 people. It's just way better for post-production. Okay, so now we have these 2. I'm going to put on number 1. If we zoom in and have a look now, the back of the Rode microphone, we've already got this attached, which is that magnet attachment here. Now we want that because when we go and connect it to a person, it's actually much easier if it's a magnet. You can just clip, but then you're kind of limited by what you can actually clip onto. Whereas the magnet, you can just kind of put it anywhere. Now I've got another one over on this side, but you can see here, if I put that there, it doesn't flop as much. It's easier to manage when it's on a magnet. So I would say that. And then just position it so that you've got the best, like the actual microphone is at the top, which is that little thing there. So it's facing up. Don't put it in the middle, put it to the side. So that's me done. Now I will attach exactly the same thing to the other person, and then we're going to give you a look at the zoom out shot as to how we set up the shot. Before I do that, we're just going to go into the camera here now on the phone. Okay, so you can see here, we've got this positioned as in this situation. We've got a pretty nice backdrop here. This is actually too close for my liking as far as how close these actual chairs and people are to each other, especially in a space where we've got quite a lot of reverb. So we're gonna have a little bit of mic bleed situation happening in a room like this, but we'll manage what we can in post-production. I've also got this set to record in 4K 30. If you go up here, you can set that to different settings, so 4K 24, 4K 30, 4K 24 is what I've got my internal settings set at to record in 4K. But if you go into the settings on your actual phone, in the camera area, then you can see here you've got options. So if you click on that, and then it takes you all the way through that. So if you had no storage on your phone, which I would not recommend when you're about to record a podcast episode, you could record it in 1080p would be like my limit. And you will be able to record a lot more before your data on your phone there's no more. If we're recording in 4K, we're not going to get a lot, like it's a lot more space that it takes up to record in 4K. But again, to me, that is worth it. So let's go back to the camera now that we're sure we're going to record in 4K 30. And then we're going to just literally hit this video record button. And then it will start to record the space with the actual audio. Now this is a test now. We want to do a test recording always to make sure that our microphones are working. So we're going to hit stop. And then we're going to listen to it back. Now this is a test now. We want to do a test recording always to make sure that our microphones are working. Yeah, so that has recorded that microphone fine and dandy, which means we're ready to record with actual people. So this is a one camera shot, just one smartphone. Make sure you've got your space set nicely. Now we're going to get some people in there and we're going to hit record and show you how it actually sounds and looks. So we have a clapper, which is cool. Alex is the head of video here at Bamby Media, and so he's going to just explain what the use is of this clapper, because a lot of the times people don't understand. They look cool. What's the actual purpose?
Well, on a film set, it gives you lots and lots of information and can even give you a time code and all that fancy stuff. But for our purposes, we literally just wanted to sync the audio from the Rode Wireless Pro to any other video angles that we might have, because we can sync the moment that the top hand of the clapper connects with the sound, and then we can lock all the clips together and sync.
Fabulous, cool. And also it just is awesome to do. You feel like such a badass. Okay, cool. So now we're in our, not real podcast episode. You can see I've positioned the microphones because Alex is looking at me this way, then the mic is in the spot where his mouth is most likely going to be. Same as mine, I've positioned it so that the mic is on this side because I'm talking to him over here, and so the mic is in the right spot there.
It has the added benefit of, if you have a look at the mic, it's pointed away from me. So Brianna's mic is pointed away from me, meaning there's less bleed. And my mic is pointing this way away from Brianna, so there's less bleed, which helps out greatly in editing.
Okay, so now we're just going to pretend that we are having a conversation. I mean, we are having a conversation, but let's just say this is a podcast episode. You'd be back and forth with the person. The way they're sitting doesn't really matter. You just want to make them feel as comfortable as possible, especially with a guest. Okay, so that's our conversation. Riveting stuff. The one thing you do need to do though is if you make a mistake, and you can tell this to your guest as well, if you make a mistake, just start the sentence again. That's probably one of the best things, is if they retake a sentence, then it's better in editing.
Yeah, depending on how much editing you're doing, absolutely. If you screw up a word and then you do that thing where you go, so yesterday I was, I meant like yesterday I was trying to.
Yeah.
And in editing, you've got all these words smushed together and it's awful. So if you make a mistake, pause and just start the whole sentence again, then you can easily just cut out that erroneous bit.
Good. Well, Alex, thanks for joining me on my podcast episode where we talk about things that don't matter. Hooray!
Very good.
All right. Cool. Okay. When the podcast episode is finished, you literally just get up and press stop. You don't have to then do anything else. You then would take these off. You're done. You're really done, and you can just upload that to wherever you're going to upload it. That is very simply how you record a two-person podcast episode using just your smartphone and a little bit of kit. You want to get a good quality stand. Manfrotto is our recommendation, and I will put links to some Manfrotto stands in the description. You can get the Manfrotto clamp with the tripod actually as a bundle. I believe that's on Amazon. I will make sure to link to that specific thing as well. Have the Rode Wireless Pro system with 2 microphones and the receiver, which is attached to the back. The Rode Wireless Pro system, I think it retails for about $7 or $6.50 or something, 700 Aussie dollars. It's one of the most versatile pieces of kit that you will have, especially for anything that you're doing on location, so highly recommend that. Now I also have the DJI connected, and that's actually what you're hearing right now, which I will do as a separate video, and I'll explain my recommendations for that piece of kit as well. But that is how you do it with the Rode Wireless Pro system and a smartphone, one smartphone only. If you like this kind of content, hit the like button and the subscribe button and leave me some comments. What do you think of this situation? Do you feel like it's easy enough for you to do? Or is there something else you would like me to try as well? I'm going to do some other videos where we look at multiple camera angles, all using a smartphone for that little bit of added zhuzh. But yeah, I've had a great time and I hope you have too. Bye.